Hey my beautiful Capricorn peeps, what's going on everybody? It's Sam from CancerMoonsTarot. I'm coming at you guys with your mid-April 2022 tarot reading. How are you guys? I hope you guys are well. Without further ado, let's jump on into this and see what we got going on. The first card out that we have here for you is Confront. So you might have to confront a situation here moving throughout mid-April. We also have here the Crown Chakra, and we have here feeling alone. So what I'm seeing here so far from these three oracle cards are pretty interesting, because the Confront card, when you're looking at this guy, it's almost like he's looking at his reflection in the mirror. And of course though, there is a slight difference in the reflection, because it's not necessarily reflecting him. It kind of looks like it's refracting, that's a new word, right? Refracting, right? It kind of looks like it's reflecting, right? This image of his younger self. So coming into mid-April over here, there could be potentially some things that you need to confront within your childhood. Maybe there is some stuff there that still hasn't been healed. Maybe there's some childhood wounds that might be coming up here in the second half of the month for you that you need to pay attention to, or that you might need to confront within yourself. Because do keep in mind, any sort of traumas that we go through at any stages of our lives have a tendency to still affect us, especially childhood wounds. You know, they very well likely can carry out into adulthood. So this might be where you're recognizing certain wounds that you've experienced when you were younger are manifesting in your adult life, and it's time to take action to stop those from interfering with whatever's going on. Now, with the Crown Chakra card coming out over here, I like the Crown Chakra a lot because that represents your crown, right? Your Crown Chakra here, I do feel, is about what's been going on inside your mind, what your thoughts have been, what you've been thinking about. So basically, you've kind of been feeling a little bit in your head here moving throughout mid-April. I think it's definitely been, causing you to feel a little bit lonely. We do have here the feeling alone card. So you're going through something right now, Capricorn, and you're feeling alone about it because you feel trapped inside your head here jumping into the mid-April mark, okay? So it's like, what do I do? You got to confront something here for sure. I think that confrontation card showing up is about really taking a look at what affected you in your past and how it still carries out into the present moment. So jumping into mid-April here, as long as you confront your past, as long as you confront whatever's currently affecting you, then you can put a stop to it. You can put an end to it. And the reason why you do feel alone throughout this process is because nobody is going to ever know exactly how you feel, because they never went through what it is you went through, right? You had your very own experience, Capricorn. So it's kind of hard for other people to relate if they did not go through the same thing you went through. All right, let's go ahead and take a look here at the current energies for you moving throughout mid-April. What are going to be the current energies here for Capricorn? Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus throughout mid-April 2022. And what do we have? We have here the Eight of Cups, we have here the Seven of Wands, and then we have here the Two of Cups. Yeah, so Capricorn, jumping into mid-April, it's like, I just want to shut this down. I don't want to be feeling this way. I want to ignore it. I want to kick it to the curb, and I want to keep it moving forward. So I feel like you're trying to be very dismissive here, jumping into the mid-month about what's been going on with you. So if you have become aware of something that happened in your childhood, or something that happened years ago or a while ago that's currently affecting you today, it's like, I'm just going to try to let it not get to me. I'm going to try to let it not bother me. But it's like, no matter what you do, it's still there with you. You got here the Two of Cups. Two of Cups says, whatever you went through, Capricorn, it's a part of you. And the truth is that you cannot change that. That's just the fact of the situation. So whatever you went through, it's always going to be a part of you until you allow yourself to no longer have it claim power over you. And how would you do that? Well, not necessarily from dismissing it, but from confronting it. So that's what this reading here seems to be all about. Let's go ahead and take a look here and see what you're dealing with throughout mid-April. What are my Capricorns going to be dealing with here throughout mid-April? We have here the Six of Wands, we have here the Nine of Swords, we have here the Sun, and then we have here the Two of Pentacles. So Six of Wands here to the Nine of Swords, what's been pretty much taking up a lot of your attention is the Nine of Swords, which is typically the card of feeling pretty overwhelmed, feeling a lot of negative things. Nine of Swords is one of those cards where you may not be in the best place mentally. So your mental health lately has been taking up a lot of your attention, and you may feel like your mental health hasn't basically been in the best place. And with the Sun card over here, this is what you want. You do want to be feeling better, you want to be feeling happy, but it comes in waves. Two of Pentacles. So you might feel slightly happy or temporarily happy at certain points throughout the second half of the month here, but then it's like, I get dragged right back into this energy of feeling alone and dealing with things that are still bothering me till this day. So you can't really shake the feeling no matter how hard you try, is what you're starting to notice here, Capricorn, moving throughout mid-April. So it's really difficult to do that, especially when your attention and your energy seems to be very shifted and focused on whatever's currently still bothering you that you went through. So Capricorn, whether you want to call it a trauma or whether it's something that happened fairly recently or years ago, there is something that happened in your life that's still affecting you where you are today. And it's very difficult to just simply let it go. I do feel like you're trying your hardest here to ignore it. You just want to keep it moving forward, but you're going to realize that throughout the second half of the month, no matter how far I try to run, this situation always seems to continue to catch up to me. So, that big card, right? That confrontation card, the confront card over here coming out, especially being the first card in this tarot reading, is really setting the tone here for your second half of April. The number one way to kind of fix this is to confront what happened to you. All right? So I do feel like the energy is pretty heavy, for sure. And it's never easy to deal with stuff like this, but if you allow yourself to take a look in the mirror and really, go back down memory lane and take a look at what it is you've experienced, if you let yourself heal that, things are going to be a hell of a lot different here for you moving throughout mid-April. All right? So a lot of you guys are probably wondering too. It's like, well, Ant, why does it matter if I confront what it is I went through? Why does it matter if I go back to memory lane and kind of relive what happened to me? Well, when you give into your feelings and your emotions of what it is that's currently bothering you, that is the first step to actually healing what happened to you. A lot of people often feel like, well, that's only going to hurt me more, going back into the emotions and feelings that hurt me originally. Yeah, it may hurt, it may sting for a little bit, but the body has a natural way of processing these feelings. The more you feel them, the easier they are to let go. The more you avoid them, the more they tend to chase you. So when you let yourself feel what it is you're going through, you're actually in the position of healing. For example, think of it on a physical level. When you were a child, and let's say you were on a bicycle, you fell off the bicycle and you scraped your knee. Typically what happens when a child falls off a bike and scrapes their knee, they tend to cry. And what happens after you finish crying? You're like, okay, well, my knee hurts a little bit, but I feel better, So when you had that emotional incident, when you were crying, you essentially processed what happened to you, and then you let it go. You're like, my knee stings a little bit now, it hurts, but it's okay, I'm fine. So that's the same ideology that applies to how we feel emotionally. When we let ourselves feel it, and have that moment of release, whether it's crying or whether it is just feeling that energy in the pit of our stomach, however we deal with it, however we feel it, it's going to get processed and then it's going to get released. It's not going to have that same power over you as it originally did. So keep that in mind here, okay? Let's go ahead and have a look here and see where things are going, where things are going to be going here for Team Capricorn. Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus throughout mid-April 2022. We have there the Queen of Pentacles, we got here the Eight of Swords, we have here the Empress, and then we have here the Four of Pentacles followed up with the Three of Cups. So, the Queen of Pentacles here to the Eight of Swords. I definitely feel when it comes towards the time you've been spending by yourself, the time that you've been spending alone, like, it's easier for you to deal with the situation the more you are surrounded by other people, because like other people are a distraction for you in mid-April. But like when you recognize that you're alone or when you're away from other people, you feel like you're constantly thinking about whatever happened here. That's what I feel like the Eight of Swords is saying. It's like it's very hard to escape this situation. So based upon where things are going, I definitely feel like you're enjoying spending time with other people. You're enjoying being more out there or being more around others because it typically helps you get your mind off of whatever happened. But the more and more you find yourself alone, the harder it is to kind of escape the reality of something that happened in your past. With the Empress card showing up over here, it's like, I want to outgrow this situation. I don't want it to bother me anymore. But you're in recluse right now, Capricorn. Four of Pentacles. You're holding back in an act of self-preservation that's actually doing more harm than good. So based upon where things are going, I feel like this second half of the month, you're going to try to distract yourself. You're going to try to be around people more often, but you might recognize that even if you try to be around people more often, you still feel very alone with what it is that you're going through. And it's just very difficult to escape it. You want to, but you feel like you just can't. And like I said, it really chops up to the fact that Four of Pentacles, you're in recluse. It's like you're trying to avoid what it is that happened to you, but that avoidance is actually making everything a heck of a lot worse. So Capricorns, My best advice here, because there's really not much more to talk about in reference to this reading, because this reading is basically saying, hey, something happened to you in your past. It's trying to come to the surface. It wants to be acknowledged. It wants to be confronted, but you don't want to confront it because it's painful. But the more that you kind of dissociate and the more that you detach, the worse you're going to end up feeling. So this month is like, it's time to confront those wounds that happened to you in your past, whether recent or years ago, and really allow yourself to process it, because that's the first step of healing it, right? So that's what I see here for this reading. Let's see what the spirit guides have to say. Is there any dire or important messages coming in here from Capricorn spirit guides moving throughout the second half of April? First card out, we got here the Seven of Pentacles, we got here the Five of Cups, and we got here the Nine of Cups. Yeah, your spirit guides are trying to tell you, like, healing is not necessarily an overnight process. It's something that you have to have patience with. So Capricorns, your guides here definitely want you to be a lot more patient. And I'm also hearing too that they really want you to start prioritizing your healing, because Seven of Pentacles is an investment. If you're not investing in the better of you, then you're not investing in a bright future for yourself. So I think your guides here really want you to know that the more time you invest on healing everything that happened to you and manifesting and healing the better for you, the better your future is going to turn out, right? So they really want you to look at this as a long-term investment. Take the time out in the second half of April here to really focus on bettering yourself, you know? We also do have here the Nine of Cups. Unfortunately, guys, we have somebody's car going off like crazy. Let me wait for it to stop. Hopefully it stops soon, and then I'll get back into your tarot reading. So give me a couple seconds, guys. Oh my lord. It's just going off. I've never seen... There you go. Well, it's off now. I've never seen a car alarm, though, go that fast. That was weird. Anyways, Cappy, who knows? Maybe that's a sign from the universe over there trying to tell you, hey, pay attention really quickly. Listen to this. So, like I mentioned, right? Seven of Pentacles, Five of Cups, those two cards together are saying, hey, look, take more time to invest in yourself, because the more that you invest in you, the better of a future you're going to have. And with the Nine of Cups showing up over here, that's the card of fulfillment, aka you're going to have a much better future, a much more positive and brighter future, the more you work on yourself. You know, the more you kind of outrun whatever's affecting you emotionally here, the more it's going to continue to chase you, and the more miserable it's going to make you feel. All right? So Cappies, I know a lot of people don't like hearing type of readings like this where it's all about, hey, you got to heal. You're probably like, screw this random dude from the internet right now telling me what to do with my life. Believe me, I'm just giving you guys advice from what it is I see. I don't want to tell anybody how to live their lives. That is completely up to you. You know, the goal of being a tarot reader is to kind of see what I see coming up for your month or whatever kind of time frame I'm reading. And if it resonates to you, I can give you the best approach on how to handle it, give you the best path to take, but ideally it's always going to be up to you on what it is you choose to do. So keep in mind, if it's not your story, it's not your story, but if you are a Capricorn and you have been noticing in the second half of April so far that things from your past are coming back up and that you've been feeling really isolated lately because you've been overthinking about things that have happened to you, the more time that you take to process this, the more time that you actually take to heal what happened, the better of an investment into a positive and brighter future you'll have. So it will be really good for you here if you take this time to heal. You know, if you kind of push it away, you're only delaying the inevitable, because this feeling will keep on haunting you until it's addressed. So that's what I want to get out to you guys. I want to make sure that you're aware of this. You know, it's up to you on whatever you want to do, but if you want to make it a lot of an easier time or a better time for you, I would definitely say your best approach in the second half of April here is to confront what is currently going on with you that happened to you in the past that's currently still affecting you here today. All right? All right, Capricorn. Let's go ahead and take a look here at your overall outcome, all right? What's going to be the overall outcome here for Team Cappy? Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus throughout mid-April 2022. We have here the Page of Swords, we have here the Seven of Swords, and lastly, we have here the Magician. Yeah. One or two things are going to manifest for you. So you really have two paths that you can take here, is what the outcome is saying. Because the Seven of Swords here to the Magician is that if you keep running away from whatever you're choosing not to confront, it's only going to make you feel worse. And it may seem like that's the best thing to do. It may seem that ignoring something that bothers you, if I ignore it long enough, eventually it won't. It may seem that way, but it's very deceiving to take that kind of path. And that's what the Seven of Swords is all about, right? Deception. I remember in certain instances in my life where I've tried to outrun my past, and I genuinely thought if I kept on running, I'd run far away enough that it would not have any effect over me. But that may have worked temporarily. It was kind of like putting a Band-Aid on a wound that needs air. And then eventually I recognized, oh shit, I ran pretty far, but there's that trauma still caught up with me, you know, no matter how far I tried to run over there. So yeah, it's a pretty deceptive path to take. And the reason why I say it's deceptive is because it's based upon a lie, you know? You basically lie to yourself, and then when you believe that lie, it can feel good, it can temporarily numb the pain, but then it all comes back when you start to see the truth again. And we also have here the Page of Swords, which would actually be the card here of investing in what it is that you're feeling, because Page of Swords over here is the card of communication. It's also the card here of honesty. So it's about getting real with yourself, right? So you kind of have two paths here you can take. You can take the path of that deception, of lying to yourself and kind of numbing the pain, or you can take the path here of embracing the truth of like, listen, this situation is going to continue to kind of haunt me and be on my mind until I actually deal with it. You know, so Capricorns, I'm sorry for this kind of reading. I know a lot of Cappies don't like this reading, or a lot of people in general don't like this type of reading, but I am that person that's going to read whatever I see, and that's what I have here for you. So if this was an accurate and resonating message for you, you know, I definitely feel like you should take the advice on doing your best here to confront what's happening, but, you know, it is entirely up to you. You basically have one of those two paths. You pick which one you want to be upon, okay? Now, if it's not your message, no worries at all. Feel free to check out any other amazing tarot readers, and there will be more content on my channel in the future, so if you want to check that out and stick around, definitely consider subscribing, okay? All right, Capricorn, I love you guys. Enjoy the rest here of your mid-April. I'm wishing you guys the best of luck, and I will catch you all in the next video. Much love, Capricorns, and have yourselves a good one. Peace.